Ball TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. We back in this. You saw what happened with Boots in this. Huh? You know my guy in the middle. Stop playing.
Ball suckers.
Mm-hmm.
Flea's not here with us. He. Oh boy, you don't want to he. That's foul, man. Your man's not here. That's crazy, bro. All right.
When my guy ain't here, listen, up here we do things correct, man. We do it the correct way.
You see our guy on the right. He's back. Our guy, the real Ant-Man, in this corner boxing. And he's here to gloat this week, old ball. This week he's here to gloat. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Put the pride to the side, all ball. We got the boxing aficionado here, baby. In this corner boxing, the real Ant-Man. What's going on, man?
Good, man. I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Listen, man, it's Monday, October 13th. Glad it ain't Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling, man? And of course, oh boy, how you feeling? How you didn't answer the question? I'm sorry.
Can't complain. Brother's back. Hopefully everybody in their is doing good. Like I said, man, just take it easy. Happy to be up here with my brothers up here, man. My man Ant. We go way back. His family. Always good to see him. Always good to
Absolutely.
hear from him,
Likewise.
man. Like I said, I love arguing and talking boxing with him, man. But good to see my brother up here, man.
Yes,
Again.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come on now, and let's get to it. Boots Ennis, you've been talking about him for a while, Ant-Man, and it made me want to watch him more. And his very next fight, of course, he comes out knockout in the first round. Jesus Christ! How do you feel about this fight? There's a lot of questions still about this. It was the guy up to par? Is he an A-lister? Everything that we've heard of with Boots Ennis comes out again, but he answered a lot of the questions, a lot of the bells that came into this fight, including, yo, you want to take care of these guys early on. And that's the first thing you told me the other day. Yo, I would love what I saw. So please tell us what you saw in the fight on Saturday.
Well, yeah, man. Saturday, man, I was so hyped the whole week. I couldn't wait to go to Philly, man. I like Philly. Philly is a boxing town, boxing city. Always has great history, but they haven't had, from what I can remember, and I'm a 70s baby. From what I can remember, there's never been a venue really in Philly where you can go and watch fights. And so Boots, man, being that hometown guy, this is his second time fighting at the arena. They changed the name from Wells Fargo to Xfinity Mobile Arena. And it's a nice stadium. And, they showed out for Boots, man. I can't say the exact number, but I'm going to say between what I think maybe between 8 and 10,000 in that range. I mean, the seats was filled, man. Like they really showed out for him. It was electric.
Well, I'm gonna stay right there and explain how important that is. Because to some people, 8 to 10,000 may not seem like a lot. But everybody nowadays is mega staged and all this. How important is that number for a guy like Boots?
I think it's very important for him and any guy that's fighting in their hometown, because it's like if you can't bring the people to your hometown, then how you gonna go to the next level and go to Vegas and California and New York and different places, right? So you definitely gotta be able to fill up your hometown. And I feel like if you get 5,000-6,000 in your hometown, that's a score. But he definitely had more than that the last time and this time. So that was it was great, man. It was a great showing for him.
What do you think about the fight? Like, what exactly were you anticipating from Boots based on his previous fights, and then how this fight went? You the biggest Boots fan I know, and this is in the middle of, like, it's kind of starting to feel Floyd Mayweather-ish. Like either you
Hmm.
hate him or you love him, and Money Mayweather. Like either you hate him or you love him. That's what
Right,
this is starting to feel like with Boots. So
right.
you're going in here with a bunch of hate, taking on Boots' hate, and he fought another guy. What did you anticipate versus what ended up happening in the fight?
Well, I wasn't surprised at the first round knockout because I kind of know Boots and how he works. I was anticipating 6, 7 rounds. He was going to get him out of there. I thought he was just going, box him a little bit, jab him, throw his combinations, and just, feel him out and have a little fun. Because that's what he said he was going to do. I'm going to go in there and have some fun, and then I'm going to get him out of there. I definitely wasn't anticipating a first round knockout, but again, I wasn't surprised because I know his skill set. He said in the corner before he came out, his father told him, don't play with this guy. Just go in there and take care of business. So he said once he heard that, that's what he did. And the science of boxing, that's why it's called a sweet science. So he hit him with an uppercut. He was in the orthodox stance. Lima is a southpaw fighter. So southpaws don't like fighting other southpaws, right? So he went into the southpaw stance, and just like Bud, when he goes into the southpaw stance, he's getting ready to get you out of there, right? He's getting ready to do something. So he went into the southpaw stance, he hit him with the uppercut, and then he caught him with the right hook. He buckled him. And then when he caught him with the next shot, he was on the canvas. So he gets up, Boots jumps on him again, he knocks him down again, and then when he gets up this time, he's already wobbly. And then, this time Boots jumped on him. The ref just, because he was just going to knock him cold out. So the ref just stopped it. But yeah, the first round knockout was, I love it because, like he said, I don't get paid for overtime. So it is what it is, man. First round knockout, 12th round knockouts. You need some of those sometimes on your record.
Um, Big shout out my brother Ed, man, in this corner boxing 24. Always good to see you, hear from you, and talk to you about the sport of boxing. Like I tell
Thank
people,
you.
how I love basketball is how you love boxing.
Yes, sir.
You've been talking to me about Boots for some years now. Talk
Right.
about a while now, right? So,
Mhm.
if anybody knows Boots, it's you. What is it about Boots excuse me, that you love so much, and what makes him that great of a fighter?
Okay, what I like about Boots is his overall package, man. He got a great jab. He's speed. He's very quick. Good speed. He's powerful, strong in both hands, left and right. He's a counter puncher. He throws combinations. He's got footwork. He got ring IQ. Like he got knowledge. He know what he's looking at in the ring and his punch selection. Like I said, he threw the uppercut, buckled him, and then came back with the right hook. You know what I mean? Like that's a devastating combination right there. Cause it's like you get the uppercut, that could bring you down. Then I throw that hook and that could finish you off, which is what it did. It knocked him down. So he's very scientific, man. He has a jab. He has what you call a power jab. Like he could keep you. He don't even got to go inside on the fighters. He could keep them at bay just with the jab alone and stay out there and throw his combination. But he chooses to come inside because he can fight you inside or out. But his jab, he got one of those commanding jabs like Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes had a jab that'll keep you outside. You couldn't get inside on his jab. And that's the kind of jab that Boots got.
He's also just super young. He's 27 years old, and he's
28.
154, 28.
Yeah, he just turned 28. Yeah.
He doesn't look 154 pounds. Like there's a lot of muscle to his arm.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the Terrence Crawford comparisons come out, and I think it's only because they both of those names are so hot right now. So it was good. That's great just for boxing in general. But
Mm-hmm.
he seems to be just athletically. I always think of Zab Judah when I think of somebody who's naturally talented, and it's just like, oh, he ain't got it up there. But this
Mm-hmm.
guy, even in the face of Max Kellerman calling him out, like, yo, they're saying you ducking people, whatever, he's just like, yo, man, I'm gonna fight on Saturday.
Right.
So all these things in their face, and just he got the gift. And with that being said, since isn't a Canelo on there, and he doesn't have these names that he's fought before,
Mm-hmm.
is he ducking the competition as everyone's putting it? Do you feel that way?
Well, no, people don't know the business side of boxing. I was listening to an interview with Stephen Breadman Williams, and Stephen Breadman Williams is a trainer. He trained Caleb Plant for a couple of fights, and he also trains Kyron Davis. You can look him up. He's a middleweight. Stephen Breadman Williams, man, he's been around for a while. He's high on Boots, man. And, he said he heard a manager say before that there's certain information they'll put out to the public to make you think it's this, but it's really not that. Right? So it's really a game of deception. People, so they'll make up a narrative. Boots is ducking Virgil Ortiz. He didn't sign the contract. Turkey said he wanted tune-up fights, and people will run with that. But that's not really what happened. So I heard Boots say recently, he said, if you didn't hear it from me, don't believe it. Even besides what his promoters saying, because sometimes I think Eddie Hearn will talk ahead of him. And so the business side of boxing as well is like, Boots don't say, well, I want to fight this guy. I'm looking, oh, let me fight him. Let me fight him. Let me fight the number 10 guy, the number 15 guy. No, he want the top guy. But the business side, Eddie Hearn will say, well, if we offer it to this guy, the top 3 guy, the top 5 guy, and we can't get it, now we got to try to at least get somebody in the top 10, which is what Lima was. He was an unknown fighter, but so was Bohachuk. He was an unknown fighter that fought Virgil Ortiz, and he knocked Virgil Ortiz down twice. He won the fight, but they gave it to Ortiz. They only called 1 knockdown, but he was an unknown fighter. The fighter, there's a fighter from Russia, Backroom. He beat Tim Tszyu. He's an unknown fighter, but he beat Tim Tszyu. He knocked him down 3 times. So sometimes the unknown fighter, just because we don't know him, don't mean he can't fight. People can fight all around the world, not just in America.
Right.
So
Yeah.
people don't know the business side of boxing, man. I'm not just, oh, I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna pick him. He looks easier. No, you go by what your promoter is saying because he's handling that part of the business. Even though you might want this guy, and at 147, what people forget is that he tried to get Spence, he tried to get Crawford, he tried to get Keith Thurman, he tried to get Virgil Ortiz, right? He couldn't get those fights. He tried to get Brian Norman Jr. He tried to get Mario Barrios. He couldn't get those guys. So that's when he finally said, you know what? I've been at welterweight for almost 10 years. It's time to move up. My body's growing. I'm not struggling to make weight, but I'm not at my best at 147 no more. So let me go up to 147 and not have to worry about those extra 7 pounds.
So, uh, and that was great how you broke that down. And I appreciate you always because, like I say, a lot of us, we just think, from the outside looking in, we don't know the business part, right? And I'm not afraid to say I don't know nothing about the business part. Just a fan that says that person should fight that person. And if they don't fight, somebody's ducking somebody.
Right.
Fabian just alluded to something a little while ago that I would love for you to respond to.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Boots is starting to feel like Floyd Mayweather in the sense, and we're
Mm-hmm.
not comparing the two boxers, but in
Mm-hmm.
the sense of the love hate is either you like him or you hate him. And we seen what Floyd did, how he transformed from Pretty Boy Floyd,
Right.
Money Mayweather, accepted all the hate, became the villain, the bad guy. But we see how that turned out, right?
Absolutely.
Is it about Boots that people are not or are just afraid to give him his props? And what could he do to maybe turn that switch and start getting his name out there more and start getting some of these big fights? Could he do what a Pretty Boy Floyd did and transform into Money Mayweather, where maybe Boots can go, hey, listen, man, I'm gonna take all the hate. I'm gonna start speaking out more. I'm gonna start calling guys out more, and I'm gonna start bigging myself up, telling y'all I'm the best, I'm the greatest. What could he do maybe to get in that realm? Because it seems like he's getting left out of a lot of these big fights.
Yeah, well, what happened was it's kind of almost similar. He was with a promoter named Cameron Duncan, and he was fighting on the Showtime platform, and he really wasn't getting the fights that he was promised. So now he's with Matchroom with Eddie Hearn. And yeah, one of the things that what I liked most besides the knockout on Saturday was what he did after the fight. He said when he was asked about him ducking and avoiding fighters, he said, y'all know what time it is. Tick tock. I forget the other phrase. He said it was a little phrase he said. But anyway, he called out Virgil Ortiz, right? He said, I want Virgil Ortiz next. That's the guy y'all talking about. That's the guy y'all saying I'm ducking. Like, that's the guy I want. And then he said, everybody at 154 can get it. Everybody. Charlo, Backroom, Ortiz, Fundora. He named the whole 154-pound division. So now it's no excuse. Whatever you think about him, now he's putting it, and now he's talking. And that's what I said, that he got to start talking more. And now what he did on Saturday, he put it out there, and then the post-fight press conference, he was talking about it again. So now he's getting to a point where he's learning, like, you know what? I got to start calling these guys out and make it plain so nobody can't question my motives and what I'm doing. And yeah, he is becoming like Floyd in a way where people are tuning in and coming to see him to see if he's going to get knocked down, see if he's going to get hurt, see if he's going to lose. Yeah, that's where he's at right now.
Well, speaking of 154, I'll fight anybody at 154. Let's see what Bud Crawford had to say about fighting at 154 and beyond.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah. Nah, we ain't going up that much.
Now, would you consider going back down to 154 and face Jaron Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight?
Nope. I ain't going down 154.
Terrence, obviously,
Cat got the tongue, Bud. What happened, man? Like, not for
Yeah,
nothing.
I ain't like that response. I'm not gonna even lie. I never even saw that. That was nasty.
Why do you think? Because I don't want to call it a duck because at this point his name is too crazy, Bud Crawford. He's hot. He's too hot right now. But why do you think he says, nah, fuck that. That is a duck. That's a duck because you got to take the risk to go fight this kid now. He's a kid. You 37, 38. He's 28. He's 10 years younger. We've seen this a million times in boxing before. Why wouldn't you take that fight? I understand fighting Canelo next, maybe, or whatever the big bag is, but why not pull somebody in like a Ennis who did train Canelo? Do you feel now that these guys? Let's flip this whole narrative. Why y'all ducking boots? Do you feel that way?
Well, I'm gonna say this, but I respect Crawford a lot. I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm a Crawford hater because I picked Canelo to win. I picked Canelo to win because Bud was moving up, and I thought the weight was gonna be a little too much. He prepared very well. Much props to him. I'm not mad about it. I'm happy for him. But, I just thought Canelo was gonna win the fight, not because of the size per se, but I thought Canelo was going to be a little bit of the old Canelo, and he wasn't. So I got no problem with Bud winning the fight. Now, from what he just said, to me, why it could be a little hypocritical, because it's like you said yourself that you moved up to 168 to fight Canelo and get the belt, and you wasn't staying there. So if you're not staying at 168, then what are you doing? Are you going back to 16? Are you going back to 154 because you only have one fight there? We know you're not going back to 147. So are you going back to 154? You have one fight, or you going to 160? What are you doing? Or are you retiring? So that's why it looks a little suspect that you would say, I'm not going back down to 154 to fight Booth. So Teddy Atlas, who I don't always agree with, but he has a lot of boxing knowledge, right? And, he's a big Bud Crawford fan. And I watched the interview with him recently, a couple of days ago, and he said business-wise, it wouldn't have benefited Crawford to fight Boots because of what? The risks that he would be taking. So that tells you right there. And then you heard what he said. So we don't got to really try to figure it out.
But is he the only one? Because now if
No,
Crawford,
he's not the only one. Of course not.
so who else do you think is ducking him? And I mean, not why, because it's clear. It's a clear reason why you would think if you're ducking him, you're gonna lose. But who should be fighting him that's ducking him?
Well, again, he just got the 154, so I can't really call anybody a duck because he just got there, right? This was his first fight on Saturday. But as I said earlier, at 147, he was the most ducked. I named everybody. Keith Thurman, Ortiz, Brian Norman Jr., Mario Barrios. They all ducked him at 147. So now we got to see Virgil Ortiz, of course, right? So now we got to see. Now that he's at 154, we got to see. So we can't say that yet because he just got there.
Ant, no, I'm a big Bud Crawford fan. Remember, Ant, we used to have talks about Bud Crawford years ago where we used to be like, yo, these guys got to step their promotion game up.
Right.
In boxing, Ant knows better than anybody. Promoting is just as big as your skill set in the ring.
No
Because no
doubt.
matter how good you are, if you're not going to promote, if you're not going to do certain things, you'll just be stuck in the mud. A la,
No doubt.
this is why Boots now, like you said, what he did the other night, first round knockout, Now, like you said, he needs to build on that from social media to just speaking up more, right?
That's
So
right.
I
Yes.
remember we used to be talking about, remember we used to talk about Terrence Crawford. Like, yo,
Oh
he
yeah.
boring outside of the ring, right? So
Right.
he's starting to get that. I didn't like that answer. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think when you're the top dog, when you're the best fighter in the world, we may could disagree to that, but I think for a couple years now he's been the best fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you're the best, I think the answer should always be when they ask you, would you fight this person? The answer should always be yes. At
Absolutely.
any weight, it should be yes at any weight. You know, and of course
Mm-hmm.
we can exaggerate. I don't care if we go down to 130 or go up to 210. Whoever I got to fight, I'm a fighter. So I didn't like that answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think uh what Floyd did for Canelo, Bud Crawford needs to do the same thing with Boots. You see how Floyd fought Canelo early? There should
Mm-hmm.
be no excuses. When certain things is lingering in the atmosphere, these guys are fighters. They
Right.
around, they hear everything.
Right.
It's no way in the world Bud Crawford hasn't been hearing for the last couple years. We want to see you fight Boots.
Of course. Of course.
So yeah, I didn't like that answer at all. I'm a big Bud Crawford guy. Like I said, I think these next 2 years is very vital for his career. He can go
Mm-hmm.
down as probably top five, top 10 greatest boxers if the next one or two fights he picks carefully. But I think if he goes down to 154 and fights Boots, I
Yeah.
think that'd be a great compliment for him. How would you feel, Ed? Because for me, it shouldn't always be about the money. Sometimes we got all the money in the world. It's about that other thing.
It's
It's about
about
now. I'm a dog. I'm fighting whoever.
no
Would
doubt.
you like to? Would you like to see a Crawford versus Boots at this point?
Of course, I would love to see that. And the thing about it is, right? He made some good money against Canelo, and he will make some good money with Boots, especially after back to back. You got Spence, you beat Spence, you went to 154, you beat Madrimov. He was an unknown fighter, but that's okay. Then you moved up and beat Canelo. You got all the belts, and now you fight Boots, who's a big name, who's a top guy that just moved up to 154. I mean, you're gonna make money. It's gonna sell. So that's really like a no brainer. But again, I'm not I'm not gonna be mad about it if it don't happen. I would be a little disappointed, and I'm already past it because I don't think it would happen. But if it does, yeah, that's a great fight for both of them, and we will see. I mean, I think I don't think, man. I kind of know like Boots will outpoint him, bro. Boots is young, he's strong, he's fast, he's strong. He got the foot. He got everything, man. People like to compare the two, but they're really different. The only similarities they got is the switching. And, but other than that, man, Boots, like I said, he got that commanding jab. He can keep you at bay if you want to. You can come inside if you want to. His defense is great. I didn't even mention that. So that's a great fight. It's a close fight, but I got Boots beating him.
I think with Crawford being in his late 30s, I understand business wise why
Hmm.
you at least have to wait one fight. Because if this is it, you could have two fights against him. Um, Definitely, this is like post Floyd Mayweather, opposite of Muhammad Ali. Like Ali became an international star and showed you how to promote yourself. Crawford just kind of stepped into this realm. He
He
wants to
did.
eat as much of off this table as possible. If I got 2 or 3 fights left, if one of them is against the toughest guy out there, let me table this for as long as possible. What big of a difference is dropping down to 154 though instead of going to 160 as Top of New York here is saying? Because he can see him Crawford dropping down to 160, but not 154.
Well, I mean, again, he looked comfortable at 154. He looked good at 168. 160 is in the middle, but for me, there's nobody at 160 that could even challenge him. You got Erislandy Lara there, who's one of my favorite fighters, but he's 41, I think now, and he's way past his prime. He's not the Lara that fought Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And then Jared
Right.
Herder. He's not that guy. You saw him even against Danny Garcia. Yeah, he beat Danny Garcia, but you could tell he's just not his footwork. All of that's gone, right? Then you got uh Janibek, a fighter named Janibek that's at 160. He got 17 fights, but he hasn't really fought anybody. I think the toughest fight for him at 160 would be Carlos Adames. And they got a little history. They sparred each other. It was a very good sparring session. Bud would probably edge him out. So I think 154. I mean, I think he can do it, man, because he looked good at 154. So if Boots can fight at 154, and you said earlier that Boots looked like a big guy, I mean, he body wise he looked bigger than Crawford. So if he could be at 154, why couldn't Crawford drop down for that one fight, make some good money and history again? I mean, I don't see why not.
How would that go if Crawford drops to 160 and Boots goes to 160 and they meet there? How would it? Forget advantages. Like, is it possible with all this hoopla and all that? Because you got to
I don't
meet
think
somewhere.
that's I don't think that's a smart idea because he just got the 154. You know what I mean? If he had been there for a few fights, yeah, but you can't be playing with your body like that, right? So
Mm,
just got there. And I think for Crawford, again, you have one fight at 168. You can drop down back down to 154. And it's not like it's going to be like a Roy Jones type of thing where Roy Jones moved up to heavyweight and went back down to 175. It's not that. It's really not that. So I think it's more feasible for him to do it than for Boots to go to 160. Even though I know Boots would do it if they called on it, but I just don't think he just got the 154.
right.
Um, I hear what you're saying, but like I said, I'm a fan, and to me, this is the part of boxing that I don't like and I never liked.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best should fight the best.
Absolutely.
Um, and I think Terence Crawford, I know he knows this. His next 2 to 3 fights, if this is done properly, he'll surpass a lot of people in that boxing list.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should go down to 154 and fight Boots. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there, I think his next 2 fights after that, I don't know if we want to, I tell y'all my ideology of how I think Boots can become the second greatest fighter of all time, probably behind either Sugar Ray Robinson or Muhammad Ali, whichever one people want to have number one and number two, however that works. I have something where he can be top 3 greatest boxers of all time. But I think the best should fight the best, and they should be able to find a way to fight each other. Enough is enough. They should be able to meet at 154. But I disagree with you, and I think it'd be a great fight. But I think Bud Crawford to edge him out because I
Okay.
think it would be. I think it would be the same outcome like Floyd and Canelo. Um,
Oh
I,
no. Come
Yeah.
on.
no, no,
Come
no,
on.
no.
Come on. Come on now. Come on.
No, 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 no. Hold
That's
on,
not
hold
that's
on.
not edging out. That's not edging out.
Right.
Hold
So
on, you didn't let me finish. I'm not, when I say the outcome, I'm saying the win. I'm not saying how it went in the ring. I'm not saying Crawford is going to outclass Boots, how Floyd just outclassed Canelo. That shit looked like a mismatch. I'm just saying the
okay.
end result. I'm all right. I apologize. I meant the end
Okay.
result. I think
Okay.
would be. I think Buck Crawford hand will be raised. But
Okay.
this is just the part of boxing Ed, that I hate. And I think these guys need to call each other out a little more. I
Mm-hmm.
think guys are still a little shy about that. I never understood that. You know, I just think the calling out need to be it just needs to be more. Like you said, Boots called out a whole division.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cut the jokes. We all know the fights we want to see. They know the fights that people want to see. Get the shit done, or be honest. Yo, he ducking me. That's what it is. Fight me, or don't bring the shit up no more. But
Right.
yeah, I just that's just the part of boxing I don't like.
I think again, I would love to see the fight, but for me is Bud. Um, he, I watched a lot of Bud's fights, man. See, that's the thing. So when for me again, I don't know everything. But I watched enough of his fights. I watched a lot of his fights, and I kind of know what he brings to the table. I know what Boots brings to the table. And again, I'm not saying there's no whitewater. I'm not saying Boots goes in and knocks him out in the first round, third round, none of that. But I am saying that he can also take a punch as well, right? Bud could take a punch. So that's why it's a very good close fight. But I just think Boots got a little bit more of that, bounce with him, man. Like he got that swag bounce with him, man. That's like, and you know, he's a great finisher too. Like when he hurt you, you know what I mean? Like he got that. See, I was on YouTube earlier. People go, "Oh, he ain't got that dog in him. He ain't got." Man, I'm like, what are y'all looking at, bro? Like he ain't letting you get out the ring.
How do you feel about that with Boots then? Because I think because most of his fights they don't go the distance. He has 25 knockouts, 28 wins. Does he go the distance often? And then if you go the distance with a Crawford, now we're dealing with master level distance.
Right.
Crawford is looking for that mistake in the 12-round fight. He's looking to tag you the entire time. I think that's
Hmm.
the advantage, of course, with age. He just has that advantage and experience. I think that's where he would win on Crawford if he did. But
Hmm.
I think Boost, like you said, there's certain people that you see him in the ring. It's like, yo, he got every single gift, bro, and he has the IQ. Like that shit is a wrap. We now
Yeah.
we got to see the legend tape. Like it's like Roy Jones and them. To me, that's what Boots looks like. Like this class of Floyd and all of them.
Hmm.
And the one thing I'm gonna disagree with you on, all ball, is yo, enough of the talk. If everybody's talking, go the other way. Don't say shit. Go be the Undertaker and just show up and don't say nothing at the camera. You go put your
Hmm.
mask on after the fight. I'm not talking on Twitter. I'm not talking. I'm just knocking people out from now on.
Right.
Yo, you heard you gonna fight? And just stare at the camera. Don't say nothing.
Hmm.
I want to see that. That should be the game plan for him if you're not really charismatic like that, because everybody's claiming to be ducking each other anyway. Like now it's turning into a rap battle. Everybody's a gangster. Everybody's a tough guy. Okay, nobody's dying. So that's I want to see Boost take the next level, bro. Like he does. I ain't gonna lie. Ever since you told me about him, I started, watching his fights and everything. I'm like, all right, we do have to see the A-lister, but Crawford, I don't want him to go down the same path as all ball is saying. When Roy Jones is calling you out by the end of your career, like Floyd Mayweather saying, like, yo, you didn't fight everybody in your prime. You're a fighter at the end of the day. When you go fight whoever's in front of you, you gain our heart. Floyd, he got
Yeah.
the money and everything, but man, come on now, like I want to see Bud take this fight, man. For us,
Yeah.
just you made your 50 already, man. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I mean, again, I, that's a fight, man, that I would love to see. But if it doesn't happen, man, then he has to just deal with what he because Crawford. See, here's another comment that Breadman made, and some people not understanding what he was saying, they jumped on it. He said, if you look at Bud's career when he was 28 years old, and look at Booth's career now, their records were similar. So some people chimed in and said, "Oh nah, Bud got a way better record." He didn't say he didn't. He didn't say he did. He said at 28 years old, they had they had a similar record. They had similar issues with fights, right? And that's just the truth. They both didn't have a great record at 28 because he didn't fight Porter. He didn't fight Spence, Kell Brook. He didn't fight all them guys yet. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So it was a similar thing. And so, yeah, Boots is going through. I'm not going to say that Bud was really ducked because Spence did fight him, right? Kell Brook, Sean Porter, they did fight him. So I'm not going to say he was like a duck fighter like that. But Boots is actually, it's on record with these guys turning down money and making excuses. It's on record. So it's like you can't say that it's something else when it is what it is.
If not Virgil Ortiz, then who? Then who should fight Boots next?
Well, I think the Virgil Ortiz is going to happen unless Oscar De La Hoya just really is that afraid of putting Ortiz in there, especially after Saturday, right? Because they downplayed it already. Oh, Lima was nobody. All right, good. So put Ortiz in there. Now he got to fight Erickson Lubin in November. Erickson Lubin is a tough guy, but Ortiz will probably win. So let's see. Now, if he doesn't fight Ortiz, I would say you got to go for Fundora is getting ready to. He broke his hand, so he was supposed to fight Keith Thurman October 25th. So now that's not happening. So he can't get Fundora. So he would have to go for the fighter. Our name was Backroom or Boachuk. He would have to go for one of those guys. And then again those So one of those two he would have to go for. Um, Erickson Lubin, he was on social media. I mean, he was on I don't know who interviewed him. I forgot. Somebody, Mill City. Mill City interviewed him earlier. He's a big platform. And Erickson Lubin said something that I didn't really care for. He said, well, why did you fight Lima but yet you called out all these guys after the fight? So he should know better. Like I said earlier, are you at the negotiating table Do you know what really happened? Do you know that people was offered money and offered this and offered that and turned it down? Do you know or not? You really don't know. So then what he said was, oh, you know, he's all right, but I knew he was going to do this. I was going to do that. So now you're trying to downplay the win. And my thing is, you got knocked out by Charlo in the first round. And then you got beat up by Fundora and he rearranged your face. So like, why are you talking about now? And you know, Boots would knock you cold out. I got no doubt about that. So again, if you got something to say to him, say this. Say, listen, after I beat Ortiz and if I win, I want you, Boots. But he didn't say that. But if you really about that, then say that, and he will fight you.
Well, if you got something to say, man, you in the comments, you want to chime in, click the link. We here. Got a couple more minutes for you. Got Ant-Man, the real Ant-Man from In His Corner Boxing,
No doubt.
celebrating. He's celebrating. He's celebrating, old boy. Came back like, yo, I
Yeah,
told
yeah,
you,
yeah.
my man. I told you. I told you.
Yeah, look. Listen, he been vouching for Boots for a while. You know, yeah, you know how this goes when your guy perform. You supposed to brag and gloat. Listen, when the last time we seen, a guy get finished in the first round? It's great. It's
Yeah.
missing that. And, for me, we know the fights we want to see. And, it just hurts sometimes that we don't see them enough, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
We just see Canelo and Crawford. Great fight, right? They put it together great. Now just imagine if you just get back to back to back, just fights that need to happen, fights we want to see.
That's right.
I gotta ask you a question, Ant,
Hmm.
right? I love doing hypotheticals, right? And I would love Fabian to chime in on this. I don't think it's far fetched. May sound a little crazy, but this is what I said once Crawford beat Canelo. And he goes down to back down to 154. Let's say he fights Boots. Let's say he beat Boots.
Hmm.
Now, there's two fights. There's two fights he can have after that. It can be a mega fight. It can be you go back up, you go against the Mexican monster, Benavidez, which everybody's going to disagree, but one other fight. This may sound crazy, Ian, but I would love your opinion on this. Floyd Mayweather comes out of retirement. Hear me out. If Bud Crawford goes down to 154, beats Boots, and then we have the mega fight 2027, Floyd Mayweather versus Bud Crawford. We heard Floyd Mayweather say he's willing to come out of retirement. He said he's been getting calls, he's been getting offers, he stays in shape. Could that fight be just as big if it's promoted correctly? Could that fight be just as big as Thriller Manila? And who would you take in that fight, Bud against Floyd Mayweather? And I'm dead serious, Ant. Because I think they no, because I think they both can make 100 million. I'm serious. This is
um,
where them two guys sit in the office, and I'm giving you 10 seconds. This is where them two guys I have a meeting, and this is guaranteed 100 million apiece. I don't see nobody turning down 100 million. I'm being serious. Would you like something like that to happen?
um, I gotta be honest, man. Floyd would be 50 years old at that point, 2027.
Okay.
Nah, I wouldn't want to see that because that's not. We saw the best of Floyd a few years ago, or the last of him, right? The last of the best of Floyd. Let me say it like that. So he definitely, I know he trains and he stays in shape and all of that. But Bud would be 40, he would be 50. Nah, I wouldn't want to see that. And I don't think, I would have to pick Bud. I would have to pick Bud in that fight based on that because Floyd is just definitely not going to be at a certain level. You know what I'm saying? To fight a fighter like Bud. As far as David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, he's way too strong, way too big, too much of a killer. That's
No, no,
just not
no.
that's
Say
not a
it.
good fight for and they said that, right? So it's not like I'm making anything up. They know that that's you got high risk and then you got high risk. And that's like high risk where you don't even want to even you don't want to think about that at all.
You ain't
David
gotta be
Benavidez
nice.
is nothing to play
You
with.
got high risk and you got dumb. You don't
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
He's a
yeah.
light heavyweight.
Thank you. Like that's
Nah.
not even. Yeah, that's not even. I wouldn't want to. Yeah, because he'll really get hurt in that fight. Like that will be the fight that ends his career. Like David Benavidez is not playing, bro. He's fighting dudes that's coming in 200 pounds, and he's rocking them, bro.
Let me brag and go. Everybody said the same thing when he was getting in the ring with Canelo. His
David Benavidez is 27 years old, man. He's not even in his prime yet. He's an animal. Like he's not Canelo. Remember, Canelo been fighting. I don't want to take nothing away from Bud, but let's keep it real. But Canelo been fighting for 20 years. So as far as age, he's actually older than Bud boxing wise. He's been fighting since he was 15 years old. He's not the same fighter.
you in that world, this argument, we're gonna argue offline. You know how me and you do. All I'm saying is when this fight happened, people, what you just said about Benavidez, they said the same thing about Canelo. Let's just be honest. They
Different,
did, eh?
different though. Different,
Nah.
Okay?
different. It's
Okay.
different. Listen, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. And Bud got to take some responsibility for this, right? He stayed with Top Rank too long. Top Rank
Agree.
sucked them, but they sucked them dry. Remember, Bob Arum was saying he was losing money on Bud. And so Bud is like, even though he was in the game, he got a late start because he finally, when he left Bob Arum, is when he finally got what? He was able to get Errol Spence and show everybody this is who I am. And then you get Madrimov and then you get Canelo. So this is like his biggest, remember his biggest fights was at 35 and 37. That's just the facts, right? So that's on him. So now it's like you 38 now, a couple of years you're gonna be 40. He's on his last legs as far as fight. He's on the last 2, 3 fights. He don't have that much left. And so if you're gonna, so it's either retire, it's either if you're gonna do anything, you fight Boots and you retire, or you just retire now because there's really nothing left for him, honestly, to do.
I think I understand what you're saying, all ball. I think that may have been what we said about Canelo fighting Crawford, but it's exactly what everybody was trying to say. Like it's the reality of it that guy is a real light heavyweight, and unless what's homeboy's name, the YouTubers that like was gonna fight Tank
Jake
Davis,
Paul. Jake Paul.
unless Jake Paul is promoting, helping promote the Floyd Mayweather Bud Crawford fight, I don't want to see that shit. The first thing I think of is how Hopkins got knocked the fuck out and knocked out the ring. That was I hated that. I hate seeing that. I hated seeing
Mm-hmm.
him and Roy Jones fight at 65 years old. That was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like they're Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. That was nuts. Like
Right.
that was like Ric Flair, bro. That was crazy. I don't want to see that shit. So
Yeah.
I wanna remember
They
Bud
not
for what he
Floyd,
was.
bro. I'm sorry. I hear what both y'all saying. I'm being for real. 50 years old, if Floyd takes it serious, it will be a mega fight and it will be a real fight. I'm not, it ain't going to be how Bernard Hopkins look. It ain't going to be how Roy Jones look. It's going to be nowhere near like that. Now, I will probably still take Bud, but I don't see, listen, I don't see Bud dominating Floyd how everybody think is going to happen. Listen, I think Floyd is just too smart. We know what type of boxer he is, and he stays in shape. And like I said, if he knows this is a legit fight, it ain't no made up shit, it ain't no Jake Paul shit, it ain't no fixed fight, and he's able to train for however many months, disagree. And with his promotion and with the world, I think that's a mega fight that the world needs to see.
I think if that is the case, then now he's entering into I did the George Foreman shit. I did the Ali shit. I'm Foreman fought at 45 years old. He came back and if Floyd does
Right.
that,
And how did that look? That was a and how How big was those fights when Foreman was a little older? How good was those fights, and how many of us that shit was legendary?
Right, but I'm not
Yeah, but
sure.
George. Yeah, but George Foreman, man, is an old school fighter. He's cut from a different cloth, man.
Right,
We really
But
can't compare that. George Foreman is no joke. I mean, and then Michael Mora, one of my favorite fighters too, but he stood right in front of George. That was dumb. Like
right.
he did he you know he act for the knockout. He really just put his chin out and let him hit him. Like that's how he looked. So
But George Foreman fought Holyfield in the '90s. Like I
he
re
did.
like that's bugged out to me. The
Yeah,
fact
he
that
did.
so if Floyd were to do that, I'm just saying that would be on, especially because they both kind of have brands off. I mean, the biggest brands outside of the ring in boxing is George Foreman and probably Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd really hasn't sold anything else.
Right.
Um, but I would think, because All Boy is such a Floyd Mayweather fan that he's trying to push this, and it's like I get it. If he's thinking about legacy, this would answer everybody's questions, any criticism that we have of him. That's what it would do for him. It would definitely benefit him. Like we would be like, yo, I can't front on you. You fought at 50 years old and someone that's still nice. Okay.
I mean, yeah, in that sense, I mean, Floyd is my favorite fighter, but I'm just keeping it real. I don't even, I can't see that, and I just, it wouldn't be the best. Again, if I want to see him in Crawford, I would want to see that before Floyd retired. Then we could talk. But at 50 years old, him at 40, you're not going to get the best of either one of them, honestly, and definitely not Floyd.
Yeah.
So
We need I think Jake Paul gotta produce that. Or Dana White gotta help Floyd with that. Because
yeah.
he's gonna be up for it, but if 100 million on the line, that's just how Floyd does things.
I mean, Floyd makes 100 million, so I don't. You need more than that for him. Like he really gonna want more because he's done made 50, 100 million, so that's nothing for him. Like he got to really be probably 500 million, like for him to even think about it. And I still don't know if he would do that. I mean, because again, it's like, yeah, it's not. That's not legacy right there. That's more like I'm just trying to see if I could do it. And I'm trying, and I don't even know if Bud would agree to that. He might say, man, come on, man. I'm not going to get no credit for that beating Floyd. I'm not going to beat him. I'm not going to knock him out. But at this point, I'm not going to get too much credit for that.
I forgot to ask you one last thing about Boots. Is there anyone out there that you think does put fear realistically as a Boots fan? Is there anyone out there that he should fear? And you're like, yo, you better watch out for this guy.
I mean, I think the toughest fight for him, based on his experience, is Jamel Charlo. I still think Boots edges him out. He beats him. He hurts him and all of that. But I think that would be the toughest fight based on his experience. The Backlund guy is a tough guy. You could check him out. I can't pronounce his last name, but it's Backlund, Murta something. He fought Tim Tszyu, and he knocked Tim Tszyu down 3 times. So people jumped on his bandwagon because of one fight. But when you look at his record, he didn't fight nobody. So Tim Tszyu was overrated anyway. So people got hype on him. He's from Russia, and they do that because he's from they'll jump on a European fighter's bandwagon, if he gets a couple of good fights in. And so that's what you're seeing with him. But he's definitely a threat, no doubt. He's definitely a threat. But I see Boots, beat him as well. So I don't really see anybody at 154. Um, Even Fundora, he's 6'4", 6'5". I think Boots breaks him down. He stops him because he's been on the canvas before. So, I don't think 154 really has anything for him. 160 right now, don't have anything for him. 168 is where he'll get his challenges. And, I think he could do it there as well. He just got to do it stage by stage, in increments.
He looks tough. And I think the guy you say Backroom Murtazaliev had to play it
Yeah,
on YouTube real quick. I'm not gonna act like I knew.
yeah,
Murtazaliev,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just heard
yeah.
the guy
That's
say
him.
it.
That's him. Tough guy though. Tough guy. He's a good counter puncher. He throws a jab. He's strong. He looks like he's very strong. But again, we didn't. Tim Tszyu was coming off a loss, so he caught him at the right time.
There you have it. We're keeping up with some boxing. We're gonna have to start doing our in studio stuff soon. We ain't playing any games because we want
Hmm.
the mics to be working right. We want to definitely get down to big fights. along with basketball. It's getting hard for me to
Absolutely.
watch. I was telling Flea earlier, it's getting hard for me to watch football. Like I try to keep up with it. I just, I do it for our prize picks. Promo code CLNS, guys. Promo
Mm-hmm.
code CLNS, prize picks. Uh, but boxing is something that's so easy to just, like we just start talking about Boots and just look at his fights. I'll binge
Mm-hmm.
watch fights. And
Right.
Benavidez and these guys, Boots got me. When you see a star like that, just again, I seen potentially. I just seen it with Roy, seen it with Floyd when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. He was my favorite fighter because his wrist used to break. I'm like, yo, that's the son.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. So couple guys. I'm trying to think who are the Mike Tyson comes to mind. Just the even Muhammad Ali. My story with boxing is in the I probably said it before. I wanted to speaking of Thriller in Manila real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get a feeling for what was the big deal with Muhammad Ali. Let me see with my own eyes. And I started binge watching George Foreman fights
Mm-hmm.
against Joe Frazier, everybody, like 3 or 4 fights. And then I put the Thriller Manila on. Let me see what's so hyped about. I'm like, okay, you can hear the crowd noise.
Yeah.
And as soon as Muhammad Ali gets in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
there's a glow. It's
A
still
glow.
yo. They're not. They're not the last dragon. Shit is real. As soon as he
Yep.
comes in there, he's just the way he's moving. I'm like, yo, he's really glowing. And I felt
Yep.
that way about Floyd Mayweather. I felt that
Mm-hmm.
way about Michael Jordan, people like that. And Boots, he's just potentially he got that. He got the it factor, and
Yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
totally dangerous.
Definitely, definitely, man. They loved Muhammad Ali, man, and that's what made. And Joe Frazier was a tough guy, but Muhammad Ali was a global icon, man. He fought the system. He went against the system. So even when you talk about Muhammad Ali, you're talking about a great boxer, the greatest heavyweight of all time. But then you're talking about his humanitarian um, work that he did, man, which was even greater. Because he stood for something. So yeah, man, he was just a great man.
But I think I'm speaking from a Hollywood side. Just when the camera's on,
Hmm.
it was different with him. And Boots to me has that potential. That's why I don't want him to talk anymore. I just want because I used to be a big wrestling fan, and Muhammad
Right.
Ali's the godfather to what happened in wrestling. People, you got to talk like that. The godfather,
Hmm.
of all these rappers, Ric Flair, the godfather of everything that's going on right now. So maybe
Hmm.
somebody got to shut it down, go be Jack Johnson or something, just executionist. I ain't saying nothing. So that's what I want Boots to do, especially being 27 years old, 28 years old. It's almost like you do need to be part of like a rap marketing campaign or whatever, like be a Rakim,
Hmm.
Jay-Z.
Hmm.
These guys are laid back, don't say nothing. And you just build the mystique up like that because it's just, you
I think
know,
what he does need to do is just tell his promoter, listen, man, say, listen, I want Ortiz, I want Fundora, I want these guys, set these fights up, offer them this amount of money, even if I got to take a little pay cut just to get in the ring and show you, because then the next fight, you got to give me that money back. I just think he needs to talk. If he ain't talking outward to the fighters, talk to his promoter and say, listen, man, I don't want no other fight. 1, 2, 3, that's it. Let's go.
Well, and me and you, we used to always have these discussions, remember, about Tank, right? As far as the superstar status thing, right?
Yeah,
And I hear what both of y'all are saying, and see what Ann is saying. Fabian, I get what you're saying, but I don't think boxing works like that. This is just my opinion. Um, he needs to get out there more. You utilize social media. You have to bring people into your life, into your world, and you got to make people want to like you or want to come see you, whether it is to watch you win or to watch you lose. A lot of these guys, no matter how great they are, if we don't know anything about them, if we can't root for you, if we don't know you,
right.
guys like Ant is deep in that. So he's going to name boxes that we don't know nothing about, right?
Hmm.
But the casual fan, those are the people that you want. The diehard fans are going to be there, right?
Right.
But you have to get the guys like us that's going to talk our shit. You got to get the females. It's so much to it. But a guy like Boots, come on, man. He's young. He has time on his side. Like Ed said, you have to get with a team, which I'm pretty sure they have.
Mm-hmm.
but he has to find a way to get himself more out there and do it in a respectful manner. We not saying go out there and,
Yeah,
be a
yeah,
clown,
exactly. Respectful
but
manner.
you
Yeah,
have
that's
to
all.
utilize this social media world and you have to put yourself out there because you could miss a boat. Like he said, look at a Bud Crawford. Look how long it took for him now to get his money, get his profit. And now look how people talk about Bud, whether you want to agree with it or not. Some people say he's better than Floyd. Some people have him already in their top five, top 10. A guy like Boots has that skill set, but we don't want 10 years to go by and then now he's going through the same thing. So they have to find a way, like Ed said, to promote better, to get him out there better. You know, you
You
have
gotta
all
promote. You gotta promote yourself. Like Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach. I like what he's doing. Lamont Roach is getting ready to fight Pitbull Cruz. Now we know
love it.
Tank fought Pitbull Cruz, and that was a tough fight for him. Now Lamont Roach couldn't get his rematch, so now people are mad at Lamont Roach because somebody asked him a question about the rematch, and he's answering it. What is he supposed to say? Nothing? No. I think he ducked me. I think I won the fight. I think he dunked me. I have a problem with him fighting Jake Paul instead of me. Yeah, he gotta say that because that's what it is. But what he also said was after, not if. He said, after I beat Pitbull Cruz, I want the top guys at 140. I want Gary Antoine Russell. I want Subil Matthias, the champion. See? He's promoting himself. So
And
you ain't gotta
he's
guess
keeping his
what he's
name
trying to
alive.
do.
Right, these last maybe 90 days, ever since after that fight with Roach and Tank, Roach name has been alive.
There you
And look
go.
at all these platforms. Like right now, Boost Ennis, you have to make your rounds. You know,
Yeah.
you got Club Shay Shay, you have Gillian like you have, and I know he's been on Gillian Wild I think before, but still now you have to these
Go back
platforms are
on
much
there.
Yeah,
right,
Go
right.
sure,
on.
You
Matter of
sure,
fact, now
sure.
that you say that, you're absolutely right.
make your rounds.
Go on Andre Ward's podcast because that's where Crawford went after his, and make Andre
Go
Ward a
on them
staple now.
all.
Yeah, because
Yeah, definitely. He needs to do that.
now you turn him into Howard Cosell. Now you turn him into like in this corner boxing. They need to go on and show. We just need somewhere to go where the hype is at, and you keep
I'm
building.
gonna get him. I'm gonna get him because listen, I texted his father earlier and I said congratulations, man, on a great win. You and Boost and the team. And he said thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. And he sent me the boxing emojis, the gloves, man. So
Nice.
much respect, man. I'm gonna get him. When I went out there, I interviewed him because Boots was resting that day. He said, yeah, I gave him a rest because he was working hard. But I'm going back out there. They told me I'm always welcome to come out there. So I'm gonna get Boots, man. I'm gonna get him.
And
That's
it just
crazy.
right. And I remember you went out there and told me, man, that was legendary right there. But
Yeah.
just imagine now, right now Boots' name is on fire. You just had a big win in your hometown, first
Mm-hmm.
round knockout. Now just imagine you make the rounds on all these big platforms and
Mm-hmm.
you promote yourself. These are the guys I
Yeah.
want. These are this shit. Like that shit. Excuse my language. No other sport shit is part of boxing. I don't care what nobody say. You can't duck that. You can't deny that. What those guys do, that shit is part of boxing. Even the
Mm-hmm.
cooler guys back in the day. Oh, listen, Joe. It's so many guys that yeah they was cool, but you have to promote yourself in boxing because if you don't, you'll be lost in the sauce, man, and you'll be a
Yeah.
what if,
You
and then
gotta
you'll
promote
miss out on
yourself.
so much money, on so much this history that it'd be insane.
No, that's real. And that's why I like what he did on Saturday, man. I was so happy, man. I was like, yo, this is better for me than what you did. Cause now you letting these guys know that you here, that you coming, and you letting the public know, you letting the fans know, no, I'm not ducking, man. I want to fight these guys. So you can't, there's no excuse. So now if the fight don't happen, don't point at me. I'm here. I'm ready to fight. So yeah, man, I was very happy he did that. Then he did some interviews after that already, where he was talking about it, the post fight press conference. So I'm about to go on YouTube and look at some other things and see if he's still, because so now it's buzzing. It's
You,
buzzing, man. His father's talking. You know what I mean?
again, real quick, I'll let you know who his father and his team need to hit up. Stephen A. Smith.
Oh
Hit right
yeah,
up
that
on
would be
either
good
his
too.
YouTube platform or First Take. We can say what
Absolutely.
we want about Stephen A. He ain't scared to be like, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
ducking
yeah.
you. Who you want to
Definitely,
fight next?
definitely.
Oh, yeah, I think Boots has he has to do this because, like you said, he's in his prime and these next couple fights. Listen, he deserves it. He deserves it.
I'm
Yeah,
just thinking of.
yeah.
I don't know how you feel about like people forget Muhammad Ali's story is he's gonna be revered,
Mm-hmm.
but the shit he used to do was bananas. Like pull up on people's lawns with a bus and start yelling with a megaphone at their wife in the house and all.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
he's Muhammad Ali is a
Muhammad
different
Ali
level.
was
So and Floyd,
absolutely.
Mike Tyson, some of these guys, I don't even know, Bernard Hopkins touched on that. Even B Hop needed to hype himself up like that because he's not, he's a boring fighter. He's like a pitcher
Hmm.
that's just so I I totally agree with you all, Bo, but I just to figure out that lane, that's where the genius of just I think Hollywood comes in. And what's the next big fight? Ant Man, before we let you go, what's the next big fight we should be looking out for?
The Mexican Monster, baby, November 22nd. The Mexican Monster in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Big fight. David Benavidez against Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard got one loss. His loss was to Beterbiev, the one that fought Dimitri Bivol twice. The one that
Okay.
beat Canelo, Bivol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Wolf.
So that's who David Benavidez is fighting. And again, David Benavidez is my guy because he promotes himself. He talked about it, right? He didn't say if, he said after I beat Yard, I want Beterbiev. I want Bivol. I want the top guys at 175. You ain't gotta ask me who I want. I'm telling you, this is who I want. And he's going for them fights. And he gonna get it.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Fabian, real quick. Benavidez, he he has a mystique about him, but he talks his shit. And to me, that's what I think guys like Ennis and other guys need to do. You don't have to make it a clown show. You don't have to make it a shit show. But
Hmm.
you have to talk. You have to be in front of the camera. You have to be in front of
Yeah,
us. And you have to just be honest. Like
that's
he
right.
said, Benavidez talk. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He's scary. He's scary because he's straight to the point. No, he ain't laughing. He ain't joking. He ain't
That's
playing with
right.
nobody. But he
Real
keeps his
dude.
name alive. He keeps his name alive, and he's out there. And like I said, with a guy like Boots that has that skill set, listen, I think he needs to take a page out of some of these guys' book because me and Ed could tell you years ago we used to argue about the same thing with Crawford. Like, yo, bro,
Hmm.
you don't know nothing. Then
Right.
he had his breakthrough, and then now look, he's all over. So
There you
I think
go.
yeah,
And then my young boy from Ohio, Abdullah Mason, he's
yeah,
on
yeah. I
that
like that
card as
kid.
well. And he's a
Let,
young beast. So yeah, he's on that
listen,
card.
big shout out to my guy Cheese, man. That's family. Played for the Globetrotters. He got invited to, and he brought me with him. It was a big three game, the Ice Cube thing. Night before that, young man fought. We literally was right there talking to all of them. It was because it's like three, four brothers and his father.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Right. And we was sitting there. He just had a big fight the night before. Then he was down there at the big three. We was like in the booth. And it was
Oh
like
wow.
VIP access. Yeah, but like we literally was there for almost an hour. Talking to
Okay.
him, his father, and his other three brothers. You could tell the pops and the older brother is like they hold that shit together. And
No
to
doubt.
watch them together, it was almost like the Jacksons, right? Where
Mm. Mm.
it's like literally like four, five brothers in the
Yeah.
pots
Right,
and they
right, right.
all fight, but they all realize he's the Michael Jackson. We putting everything behind him.
There you
You
go.
had
Yup.
you had to see how they was as we all in there talking. We just talking about everything,
Yeah.
but they all held him down.
No
You
doubt.
couldn't
No
get
doubt.
close to him. Everybody looking around. The conversation was great, beautiful, just good brothers. But yeah, I met them, man, and that young man,
Hmm.
he got a bright future. Fact.
Oh yeah, man. Peace, 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 peace.
Come on, man. That was Ant Man in his corner boxing, the real Ant Man in his corner boxing. Check
Yes,
his
sir.
YouTube
Yes, sir.
channel out, covering the
Appreciate it.
booth in his fight. Again, the Mexican Monster will fight November 22nd against, how you pronounce the guy's name? Better be it?
Anthony Yard. Yarde.
Anthony Yard. So look, after that fight, probably do another one of these because keeping up with that boxing is way better to keep up with that than that fake football they got going on today, old ball. What is that?
Ball,
Garbage.
ball suckers.
And then and
Garbage.
then Lamont Roach is December 6th against Pitbull Cruz, December 6th in San Antonio, Texas. So those are the two big fights we got, November and December, and then the beginning of the year, hopefully we'll get that, depending on who wins between Ortiz and Lou, but I'm leaning towards Ortiz, we'll get that fight with Boots.
December
Nice.
2nd.
Huh?
November, December, and then January, we got three great fights each month.
Yeah,
And just before we go, that's what boxing is missing, man.
that's
Like,
it.
come on, man. These brothers is taking too long to fight. These big fights they happening too far apart. Come on,
Happening
man.
too far apart.
Let's get two, three great fights a year, man. And if we can get it more than that, I'm good. But come on,
And,
man. November is a great good, man. Sorry.
and hopefully we get, yeah, not to cut you off. Hopefully we'll get Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez beginning of the year as well. Hopefully.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. You know why?
Yeah. So we're looking at some good fights though, man. Abdullah Mason gonna get something on next year because he gonna do his thing in November. So yeah, we got some, and Lamont Roach, he going, he's gunning for, like he said, he's going for the top guys at 140. So, we're gonna have some beginning of the year is gonna be nice, and next year in general is gonna be nice.
And that before we go, that Roach fight is a very underrated fight. That's going to be a great fight against Pitbull.
Great
Like,
fight, great fight.
and that right there may put Roach. We think what he did with Javante put him, but I think this fight he wins put him in superstar status.
Oh yeah, because Pitbull's a tough guy, but I
Yes,
got Lamont Roach wearing him
yeah.
down, and he said himself, he said if I don't knock him out, I'm gonna beat him like he never been beat before.
And Pitbull has a fan base.
Yeah, he
You know what I
does.
mean?
He
So
does.
so so he been around. So and he's tough.
Right,
So
right.
I think these next couple fights, even like you said, the Mexican Monster, this fight
Hmm.
also. So we have two major fights to where now these
Oh yeah,
guys
oh yeah.
going into next
Awesome.
year it's going to be crazy.
And hopefully my man Keyshawn Davis could rebound and come back and get his thing going because he's one of the most talented fighters. And, I always wanted him to get Tank because I always thought he was the one that could knock Tank out. So I hope he can get back on board, man, and do his thing.
Only in boxing can you get away with somebody calling somebody a Mexican monster. Thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate you as always. Tomorrow,
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate it.
definitely Tuesday, 8 p.m. tomorrow. Knicks rehab. We gonna get update y'all with what the latest with the Knicks, our opinions with whatever gossip they got going on. See me,
Mhm.
oh boy, I'm still like I ain't gonna lie, man. Mike Brown, Flea was right, man. He got me kind of open, man. I mean, why?
Can I just add something real quick? I just
Sure.
want to add, right, because I hear a lot of talk about, I'm the real Ant-Man, but the Ant-Man that's on the basketball court for Minnesota, he's a beast. But I want us to remember when it comes to him, right? And he's been in the league, what, 5 years?
Yeah. This will be his fifth
No, no,
season.
no. Yeah, about 5 years. Yeah.
5 years. I want us to remember now that, he's going through his growing pains and it's not as easy. Well, I don't want to use the word easy, but he's in the West. And you're not just getting no chip. It's not gonna get handed to you. They gotta work. They gotta really work. They gotta work hard is my point than being in the East. He's in the West against Denver, against Golden State, against these teams, man. And they gotta really work to get that OKC to get that chip. So, he gonna get it. I believe he's gonna get one, but they gotta work. They gotta work. But he's a monster, man. He's a monster.
To me, similar to Boots, Ant-Man to me is like all he got to do is stay the course because
Hmm.
it's just a matter of time. He's too willing to go out
That's
there
right.
and be great, and then
That's right.
I mean, he's a little crazy, but the fact that he's that wild and he's not scared of nobody, that
Hmm.
kind of personality could really be some Mike Tyson level of just superstardom. That what's his name, David Stern. He didn't
Hmm.
want Allen Iverson to be the star of the NBA. They
Right.
don't they
Right.
don't really want Ant-Man. That's a wild dude. He talks to the crowd crazy.
Yeah.
That type of personality is unstoppable. So I'm rooting for him on the low, and just the fact that he's getting better every year is insane.
Oh yeah. Oh
4 more
yeah.
years
Oh
from
yeah.
now, he might be the best player in the game as a two
Now,
guard like that.
what y'all both just said, I 100% agree. I'm gonna take it a step further. Right?
Hmm.
Just give me 30 seconds.
Hmm.
This is where the comparison of him and Jordan comes into play. Remember Michael Jordan's first 5 to 7, 8 years,
7. Yeah.
right? Playing, remember at that time the East was just out of control, physical, just Hall of Famers after Hall of Famers, right?
Hmm.
Ant-Man going through the same thing. Minnesota is Scottie Pippen away from Ant-Man taking over the NBA. They have to figure out. Remember, it's not Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
They have to figure out to get him his Scottie Pippen.
Okay.
He does that, but also he has to change his game a little bit. He spoke to Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan honestly responded to him, which is big because Mike don't talk to nobody unless they team Jordan. Remember, Ant-Man is with Adidas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man said Mike told him, when you post up, don't post up with your butt, post up with your back. So
Mm.
for me, remember, because Mike changed his whole game once he started winning championships. He started, okay, I can go to the basket as much as I can. Remember, Ant-Man, the same thing. But what Mike
Mm-hmm.
perfected, that mid-range and that post-up game.
Right.
Ant-Man has an opportunity, which I both just said, because he's still young. Listen, that young man get a chip in the West with how tough the West is.
Mm.
But once again, you in Minnesota, tough. They got to get him his Scottie Pippen. They get him his Scottie Pippen. You see OKC got SGA his Scottie Pippen and the young kid Williams, right?
Right. Right.
It's not Julius Randle. So I
It's
agree
not
with y'all.
Julius Randle.
This would be
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
conversation, but really thinking
Okay.
about it, I'm glad y'all brought that up. Ant-Man is a bad you know what. Seriously, he is.
And I think he said this past summer he was going to work on that post up. I think he said that.
Yeah, that's when he talked to Jordan. And that's
Yeah.
why I know people think we go crazy because we're older and we say that Jordan's the best. It's just that we've seen every kind of athlete. Then we've seen Mike do the same shit. And then he has, like you said, the sweet science in boxing. Bro, he's a real professional out there. Just the back
Mm-hmm.
to your basket, use the upper half of your back. Little things like that we would actually kind of not see. But Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
just the spacing he would get on a mid range is insane.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just
The
like
spacing
he's
is crazy.
creating that. Everybody, they have similar size, but they don't understand how. Remember, Steve Burt Senior was saying like, "Yo, I played Jordan in high school, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He got by me on the baseline, and just I didn't even see him jump over me. He was doing that. So this guy. So I'm not saying Ant-Man's the level of athlete Jordan is, because that's kind of a one-of-one. But I just like the fearlessness, and I just like people who don't give a fuck. Like that's and also one more thing, he's American. No
Right.
disrespect.
Right.
That shit is from here, bro. I
Oh,
want to
no
see
doubt.
my
No doubt.
guys.
No
I want
doubt.
to see my guys dominate what we created,
Right.
and with the swagger that basketball deserves to be played with. That's how
Right.
we play ball, bro. That's how I want to look up. Oh, that's the best guy. Yeah, I want to be like him. We need that guy to be the
No
best ball
doubt. No
player
doubt.
around, man.
I think he
Yeah.
would be. I think Ant-Man would be a good boxer with that attitude he got and that
Yeah.
Yeah,
confidence.
right,
I
right,
think he
right.
would be
Yeah,
a good
yeah, yeah.
boxer.
Yeah, that attitude, that confidence, listen, he don't give a fuck who you is. That's a fact.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
say it.
yeah. I think he would
Well,
be
I'm
good.
going after all the legends. LeBron,
Yeah.
Curry,
Yep.
KD. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
to appreciate that, Ant-Man. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. We'll be back. Next rehab. Of course, Phil will be back on with us. That's all board. That's Ant-Man. You know who I am. Fabian
Yes,
Perspective.
sir.
Have a good night, y'all. All board TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.